And we are live. It is Tuesday, September 20th, 2022, and it's 6 o'clock where I am, which means it is time for the Monster Maverick Show. Hey, everybody, this is the Monster Maverick Show. It is the show about Splinterlands that is the earn side of Play to Earn. I think that's the phrase I'm going to go with from here on out. I think it works. So, this show is all about the earnings, the investments, all that stuff when it comes to Splinterlands. So the show is not about picking lineups or streaming battles or anything like that. We're talking about the economy of Splinterlands, how it fits into the macro view, all that jazz. So we got a few people, here in the chat already. So appreciate you guys showing up on time. Tokenomics side, yes, that works as well. Although it's not all tokenomics, because there's just other things to do. Everybody's saying hi, welcome. If this is your first time tuning in. So I'm your host, Neil, and I am a day one OG when it comes to Splinterlands. Been around in the game since it started in May of 2018. I'm 50% of the team behind the X Chaos project, which is an outgrowth of Deck 101, and that's with my partner Gerber. X Chaos was the Chaos Legion launch pool where everybody gets their airdrop values distributed to them through daily payouts. I think I mentioned it last week, but this is actually the first time while we're waiting for Yasik the Conqueror that we've actually been sold out of everything. So the daily balance is just slowly declining as we distribute out to the token holders. But then once we get Yasik here in the next couple days, then we'll have stuff to sell, and obviously the payments will go up because we will have more revenue coming in and feeding the treasury there. I'm also 50% of the team behind the Venara Syndicate, which is a syndication project where we have partners. We raise capital. We deploy their capital into the Splinterlands ecosystem. Cards and nodes and all kinds of stuff. Pretty much all the ways you can earn in Splinterlands, all doing one thing or another, and then we take those earnings and distribute back to our partners or not, depending on what they want to do. That's a full-on KYC. We need your social security number. Got to be an accredited investor kind of thing. So not for everybody, certainly, but. If you know somebody who's looking to get some capital into Splinterlands, send them our way. We'll have a conversation. And then in my day job, I run a tax practice where I consult with people and help them save tons of money in taxes. So basically, numbers are my entire life. that's kind of the resume there. In fact, I just got word from my daughter. Takes this history thing. It's not really class because there's like 3 kids, but she's every week they have to do a presentation on a different historical figure, and she just had her class earlier today, and the person she got for next week was Leonardo Fibonacci, and she thinks it's going to be super boring because she says she hates math. She's good at it, but she just doesn't have the fire. But Fibonacci was great. He developed or popularized the Fibonacci sequence, and there's all applications to that in everything. So I think we'll have fun with that. But I'm excited about the numbers, and even though other people, are not as excited about the numbers. So that's me. That's why I am the Monster Maverick, I guess, and been doing this show for a long time, off and on, with periodic breaks for COVID. But I'm back. I'm only coughing a little bit. So and it's been an exciting time here in the Splinterverse for the last little while. Downtown Detail said, do I have my own streams as well? Nope. This is the only one I do. I used to, for a little while, I had one on taxes, which was the Tax Sherpa stories, but I got bored with it. So I just stopped. But yeah, so let's go ahead and hit the theme song, and we'll rock and roll. So let me bring up the volume here. Alrighty. So yeah, it's Downtown saying, don't cough through speakers, it might come through. Which, yeah, I'll do my best. I've got my, just put a new cough drop in, so we'll see how that goes. I try to mute whenever I cough, but sometimes I don't quite get there. Asking, am I a part of the team where you can buy part of nodes? No, I'm not part of that team. That is, it's a worthwhile project. I don't know the guys specifically, but, they're just fractionalizing node ownership. I think there's going to be a lot of that going forward as assets become more and more valuable. Because, we sold out of nodes in Tranche 1. I guess it was last Tuesday. I don't know if it was before or after. I think it was before the show. Yeah, because I was talking about the $5 million day already. We've sold 3 nodes in Tranche 2, which is obviously, much slower pace because they're more expensive. Went from $1,500 plus 500 vouchers up to $2,500 plus 500 vouchers. So, the yields on nodes went down, as more were sold. But the resale value of them goes up, and we'll see that in the ecosystem value here in just a second. But actually, Breeze is just saying she just loves trolling. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into the ecosystem value. So this is something I like to do every week, and let me bring up my workbook here so you can see it. Well, there it is. So, basically, what I do is... Nope, not that one. Those are some of my accounts. What I do is I go through and I total up all the tokens. And I'm going to have to add a token today because we had the Tower Defense presale today, which added a token called Nightmare to the roster here. But, not including that. We have the alphas, we have the betas, we have the orbs, we have the untamed, we have all the different land plots, got the totems, and we got the big ones: DEC, SPS, vouchers, licenses, and then the actual card values of opened. So like these ones up here, these are unopened packs. So somebody opened a bunch of betas. So like 700 betas were opened from last week, and about 600 orbs were opened. Untamed, not so many, about 300 there, and alphas remain unchanged. So people are open stuff, and if you're in the Discord, some people are posting images of their opening success or failure, depending on the case. So I go through and I total everything up, and I find a market cap, and this week's market cap is 217 million. And change. It's up about $2 million from last week. What's interesting, though, is Chaos did not populate correctly. What's going on there? I forgot to populate that. That's why. So let me go through, and Chaos Legion Packs is 315. I happen to have this open. 315-9523. 315-9523. Okay. So I take all that back about the 217 million. It's now 223, up 8 million, which actually is more in line with expectations here. And then what's interesting is kind of seeing the week-to-week changes. So licenses are way up 50% because we went from that floor of 1,500 up to that floor of 2,500. And these are licenses on the resale market, not the ones you buy directly from the in-game shop. Vouchers are down 44%. SPS is up 4%. DEC is up 19% from last week. And that's not too surprising because we just had a tower defense sale that required DEC. It also required vouchers, but the vouchers, there's so much supply at the moment that it's not driving market purchases so much. So overall, we can look at the chart and we say we're creeping up here from the low back in July. It's been kind of steady, and it's kind of hard to see on this chart, especially with it so small. But you can see that the license portion is growing, which is something I like to see as a big license holder. So let's see. Let's try to catch up on chat here. Let's see what. Okay. Okay. What do you know could be helpful to learn about land? Like, is one plot even worth holding, or does one need a certain amount to be able to produce things? Balloons here. So, yeah, the land, we don't know, fundamentally. but but from what has been said, what has been revealed so far, is that the lands are going to have various resources. There's going to be different types of land. Some will be buildable. Some probably won't be buildable. Of the ones that are buildable, there's going to be some kind of investment to be made in probably in DEC in order to upgrade your buildings. You stake monsters into that, monsters and summoners, and that will produce a certain level of production of whatever it is, Sparkstone or something. And then you're going to combine resources probably in another building, and then you'll produce items and spells, and those items and spells will then be usable and sellable and all that kind of stuff. So the key thing about that is that you don't have to own the entire vertical integration of production. So you don't need a plot for every type of thing, because there's going to be markets. And I know originally Yabba was saying that there's going to be in-game markets like liquidity pools for Sparkstone and whatever, probably against DEC. And I don't know if they had SPS in mind at the time they were saying all this, so that might change into SPS. But even if you have only one plot, it will be producing something, and that something should be sellable. So it seems like it's worth it to me. At the very least, you can rent it out to somebody else who wants to do that work. So with your RNG, I think it'll be a swamp. Yes, RNG is a harsh mistress, and I am quite familiar with it. That's why if you buy enough, you come out close to average or the expected value. So that's my general strategy. Crypto Ace has bought 2 beta packs at $21. Yeah, betas at $21 is cheap, so I'm surprised. How can I skim $500 off my taxes so I can purchase a Rooney? Asking for a friend. Yeah. Well, the key thing to saving money on taxes is to professionalize. Incorporate and don't earn money as an employee. That's kind of the secret. Yeah, if you want a whole webinar on tax strategy, then we can do that another time. This one's about Splinterlands. So, ecosystem value up. That's good. People have been complaining about utility for vouchers and for SPS forever. So now we have that. Rift Watchers is buyable entirely in SPS and vouchers. Tower Defense is purchasable entirely in DEC and vouchers. So yeah, there's utility, and there's going to be more stuff coming forward. Like during just before the Tower Defense launch, we were on a town hall chat, and Hardpoint was talking about how vouchers are going to be usable in game in the Tower Defense game in order to accelerate production or something. So there'll be extra uses for vouchers there. Now the key question is, when number go up is when demand in pressure is greater than supply pressure. And, so far, we've seen a little bit of increase. We saw, a floor on vouchers of about 40 cents. They popped up to 80 with Rift Watchers, and now they're back down to, 65 or something. So, we're floating kind of in there. They're definitely not anywhere near their retail value of, your trade-in value with the game of $3. So there's definitely a lack of demand still compared to the supply. But it's improving, and we'll have to see how that manifests over time. Become a streamer right off its expense. That is a thing. All your directly related expenses are expensible if you are a professional. If it's a hobby, they're not. Key difference. So Downtown owns a business called Downtown Detailing and Upholstery. All right. So custom cars, boats, restaurants, etc. So yeah, if you have one of those things, call Downtown Detail. So as a tax guy, I'll say never buy the boat. Rent it, use a friend's, join the club. Don't buy it yourself. They're just holes in the water that suck up money. So Icy Flow says the era of utility is here. Hopefully scarcity follows. Yeah, we'll see. I hope so too. Buns, bags, and caps. Sorry, jumping in quick. Just want to say, tournament is up. Okay, there's a tournament up. Do we pay taxes on SPL assets even when we don't take money out? Well, it depends on where you live. So in the U.S., it depends. If you are, whether you take money out into fiat or not is irrelevant, because every different trade is a taxable event potentially. So capital gains tax, maybe. It just depends. Some revenues, like when I earn rental income, that's just ordinary income. That's not capital gains. When I sell it, it becomes a capital gain event between my basis when I earned it and when I sold it. Fun stuff. Break out another 1,000. Yes, BO18. Absolutely. So yeah, like when I have clients come in with the boats, then we're talking about, it's like, okay, how much did you spend this year? It's like, oh, $13,000. Okay. Anyway, so let's talk about some tower defense. Let's see how this is going. So this was the sale today, obviously. I think you all know that probably. And we're down to, let me refresh this. This is about 15, 20 minutes old. We were down to 42,221 packs at that time. And now we are down to let's see if any sold in the meantime. We're down to 34,000. So between the last 30 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that, 8,000 packs sold. So yeah, I think we might see this sell out today, possibly. What's more important than selling out is actually the amount of DEC that has left strong hands. So if I'll go back to the spreadsheet maybe for a second. If I go to here, let's go. I had it over DEC LPs. So we are down to 34,410. So I'm assuming the average discount was about 10%. That's the 100 level. Some people are buying the 2,000 packs. Some people are buying under 100. But I'm saying on average 10% probably. 215,000 tower defense packs have been sold. That has used up about 1 billion DEC, which is great because there's about a 5 billion DEC overhang that we have to deal with. So earlier in the day, Agrid was asking me about how much money it would take to push the price of DEC up to 1,000 Splintoshis. So, $0.001 dollars per DEC, which is the par value. So it's a magic number now when it comes to SPS and Splinterlands, because once DEC reaches that value, anytime it pushes above, then the burn mechanism for SPS kicks in and being worthwhile. So if let's say DEC is at 1,100 Splintoshis, I can burn $1 worth of SPS, get 1,000 DEC, then sell that at the 1,100 rate, get more SPS, and I'll end up with more than I started with. And that creates an arbitrage loop in order to keep the price capped at that 1,000 Splintoshi level. Maybe 1050, maybe 0.5% buffer, something like that. But that will rapidly, if that trend sustains, that will rapidly decrease the amount of SPS that's available. So I know for people who want number to go up on SPS, that's an important mechanism, because it'll be just buying or burning SPS and then buying some more and then burning some SPS and then buying some more. So there's purchases with no sales in that loop, and that creates a lot of upward pressure for SPS, which is a great situation to be in. But in order to get there, DEC has to rise first. So what I did was I went through all the liquidity pools. There's 2 on Hive Engine, and these are just the big ones, because there's other ones that are a little like $25,000. I'm just ignoring those for these purposes. DEC SPS, swap.hive, DEC, DEC BNB, and DEC DAI. And I went through and I totaled up all the liquidity there, figured out the number of DEC that was in there, and how much other counterparty capital, like in all these other tokens. And then I do a little liquidity pool calculation here and say, how much would I have to increase the dollar capital portion in order to get the price of DEC up to, 1,000 Splintoshis. And it's roughly $150,000 on net. So, that means, a net purchase. So like if somebody buys and somebody sells, so that's a net of 0. But, if enough buying pressure comes in, then that'll raise the overall price. So that's kind of the number that we're looking at the moment. And this will change as, these numbers up here change. But for now, if somebody just came in, bought 150K worth of DEC, and then just took it and bought tower defense packs, we would have 1,000 Splintoshi DEC. So, if and when that happens, on the whole, then we'll be in a great place. And then the SPS burn mechanism kicks in. The DEC price remains at 1,000, and then SPS just cranks up and up and up, which would be fantastic. So looking forward to that happening. A lot of it hinges on the use for DEC, like tower defense packs and whatever else they're going to be using. So obviously you can use DEC to buy Chaos Legion packs. You can use it for your tower defense packs. You can use it for guild upgrades. When land comes out, at least as of the last I heard, we're going to be able to use it for building upgrades there. So the utility is coming. It's just like everybody else, I want everything here yesterday. I don't want to wait for development. Developers, what do? Right? Just sit on their computers and type. It should be done now, but is what it is. So the thing I think people are missing about tower defense is something Agrid has mentioned about how the ratio of SPS to packs is the same in Chaos Legion and in tower defense. There's 1 million SPS pool per month going towards tower defense, and there's 2 million potential tower defense packs. So what he means by that is that the 7.5 million going towards battles and chests, that's that same ratio, because Chaos Legion is so much larger. But the other part is that there's no competition in tower defense from earlier editions, and I think this is a point that a lot of people are missing. So if you buy Chaos Legion Chaos Legion packs, and you then open those packs and you distribute, you do whatever you want to do with the cards. You rent them out, you play with them, you throw them on a bot, whatever you like. You are competing for those rewards with everything that came before: alpha, beta, untamed, the dice, the promos, the orbs, and all that stuff. So your value per pack of Chaos Legion is diluted by all those earlier things, and still Chaos Legion pays pretty well. Now with tower defense, same ratios, but no competition. So your earnings are not diluted by other editions in the game, and at least until future editions of tower defense come out. So in this period right now, we're in a much more advantageous position in tower defense than we are in Chaos Legion. And I think when we see the game developed and we get the rollout and we're actually earning those rewards, then that's going to be, I think, pretty attractive. I think we'll see that yields there are really good. We don't have numbers yet because, well, we don't know yet. But the game obviously has to be developed. And somebody mentioned about the proposal. So yeah, Hardpoint mentioned there might be a proposal about getting SPS rewards for land and for tower defense. I mean, I'm all for it. I have both. So it's certainly not turned down another source of revenue there. But I don't know when we'll see that. If we do, obviously, there's a week-long voting period, and then they have to implement, and then so it's a 3-4 week process, before any of that happens, and it hasn't started yet. So we'll have plenty of time to evaluate whether that is attractive or not. As someone who's been holding land since December of 2020, whenever it came out for original pre-sale, I would certainly not be opposed to getting some additional revenue stream on that. Obviously, we had the year-long SPS airdrop, which was great, but that was that. And, what have you done for me lately, basically? Did I include DEC BUSD and DEC ETH in my calculation? That's a good question. I don't know. Looks like no, because the list that I took was from Peak Monsters. This guy. And I don't think those were listed there. Let's see. DEC BUSD. Oh, that should be there. Yeah, so let me see. Oh, I mislabeled that. I mislabeled it as BNB. It should be BUSD. BUSD. There we go. And the other one, DEC ETH. I don't think that's supported anymore, which is why it's not on here. But no, I did not include that one. I'd have to find that and see how that would affect the numbers. But I will come back to you on that one. Let me see. Let me catch up on chat here. Talking about stuff. Yeah, the token for tower defense is Nightmare on Hive Engine. That is true. Kind of a funny name. Let's see. I'm scrolling back. Ape is saying he'll need to slide into my DMs regarding taxes. Okay. The crypto taxes are a mess. I'm just telling you that, at least for the U.S. It's nutty. Let's see. What do I think of the EMP SPS generator contract starting tomorrow? So yeah, I know AJ. I've known him for years. I have money in one of their other contracts, the detonator, or whatever. It's it does what it says. So you take a LP token, you bond it into the platform, and so it's no longer yours. That's gone. And then in return, you get a daily payout of LP tokens that are like roughly 1% of your the amount you invested. And you can compound that, or you can withdraw it. So I've been in the other one for like a month because it launched a month ago. It was the eShares BNB contract, and it works. It has continued to work, and so far it's been fine. I've recouped about a quarter actually. Because it's been about a month, so 30%ish of my initial investment. Now the important thing to remember is that this is not in dollar terms; it's in LP terms. So you put in like SPS BNB. That token, that liquidity pool token has a certain value when you put it in, and that dollar value is irrelevant because let's say it's 10 BNB and 10,000 SPS. Those ratios are going to shift, as people trade and the liquidity pool shifts because it's the standard pancake swap liquidity pool token. And so you're going to, if you put in, 10 LP tokens, you're going to get, roughly 0.1, a day. And, that will continue on. And, it'll take, a few months before you hit break even and then you'll be into profit. And, so you have to be aware of that opportunity cost that you have there, in that you are losing, or you're not losing, you're giving away your liquidity in exchange for that future stream of payments. And the APR is pretty attractive. It's way more than just holding the LP tokens and the rewards you get from Splinterlands payouts for holding the LP tokens. So you have to make your own individual decisions. But I'm relatively confident in their ability to execute, if you want to put it that way. Canada saying Splex is valuing my RW packs at $352. Where can I purchase packs for that price? I have no idea. Let's see. Let's go to the videotape now. So the tower defense packs are being sold for. Oh, there's a lower ask here. It's being sold for about 6 Hive, which is about $3 right now. So those are on serious discount if you want to pick up packs, but you don't get airdrop points. You don't get airdrop qualifications for packs you buy here. But just holding them, if there's an SPS proposal, might be pretty attractive. So you might be speculating there on whether or not something will be passed, on the governance vote to distribute some SPS here before the game goes live, because game development takes a while, so who knows when we'll actually get a game. So I think the chances of them proposing and then passing and then implementing something before then is decently high. So if you want to take a flyer, there's some packs to get. So let's see, where else was I? Tribal Deck's cheaper on fees. Oh yeah, asking about Rift Watchers. So let's look at gems. No. Crap, gems is the other thing. Rift Watch. Is it Rift? I think this is right. Yeah, Splinterlands Rift Watchers booster pack. So that's trading for $361 right there. So there's your there's where you could buy it for that price. You just don't get any airdrop qualifications for it. Let's see. Tribal decks. Let's see if I can catch you up here. So I am a bit out of practice, I will admit, with reading the chat and talking at the same time. So you'll have to bear with me. It's hard moving capital into the game and harder moving it out. Not like I'm looking to move out. We are off stream to BTC and ETH. Yeah, so, it depends on what you're doing. So if you have nodes, then, you're going to get staked SPS, you're going to get vouchers. So, that staked SPS has to be unstaked and then sold. The vouchers have to be sold. And then you have to transport that capital, bridge it out into something else. It could be through Hive Engine and then bridge, or it could be the Terra Block bridge from in-game out to Binance Smart Chain or to Ethereum. It's definitely not the easiest thing in the world. How many nodes? Michael is asking me how many nodes I have. Turns out less than him, because I'm there at 89, and Michael B's there at 101. So, we've been neck and neck for a while. He was above at the beginning. I jumped up ahead of him, bought some more, and then on closeout day he jumped way up. So it's just rubbing it in my face a little bit. That's okay. SPS is on Coinbase, and they offer Coinbase Visa. Is that true? Is SPS on Coinbase? I don't know. I only use centralized exchanges for ramps, for fiat to crypto and crypto to fiat. Everything else is DEX for me, just because the centralized exchanges are giant honeypots, basically. Crypto Ace is saying crypto.com. Yeah. Birds, Bees, and Trees is saying, how am I doing? How many tower packs did I purchase? I purchased 1,000 plus the bonuses, so I ended up with 1,150. And yeah, right there, 1,150. So I am planning to dollar cost average into tower defense. Obviously on Thursday we have Roonies. So that's going to be 100 vouchers, per purchase. And that is going to be my next little bag. But part of Keegan's question, how much SPS payout per day? I don't know. It's a bunch. I think it's like 30 a day per node for SPS, and then 3 point something vouchers per day. So aggro's in the house. 33,000 packs left. Yeah. So. So yeah, Roonies is the next thing on Thursday. I'll be saving up my vouchers over the next 2 days to get some of those, and I'm hoping to get maybe 10 whitelist spots. I mean, it depends on how fast I can press that button. Speaking of, so during the tower defense launch, so it was in my time zone it was at 4 p.m. and at 3:58, Commander Chaos posted this picture in the Discord chat. So I don't know if you can actually see that. Let me zoom in here. So this is from Hive Block's Block Explorer. And if you don't know, so hopefully you know that Splinterlands runs on Hive. Hive is a blockchain that is one of its unique features is that it stores text in chain, or on chain. So when you publish a thing like this to the blockchain, there's just all this data that you can stuff in there, and then the Splinterlands system reads the data from the blockchain, verifies that it is valid, and then does some kind of operation in the game. And as a matter of fact, that's what SPS validator nodes are going to be doing in the future once that system launches. But for now, it's all in Splinterlands. So Tilly Tots here published a custom JSON, which is just this custom text format that you can put anything in. And ID was SM purchase, and then the actual data load was type, tower defense pack presale, quantity 20, currency DEC app Splinterlands, and this is like a random number thing. So this was interesting because this was about 2 minutes before the actual presale launched. And then I went in and looked at my own Block Explorer, and this is what Hive Blocks looks like. So there's this transaction, which was my purchase of the tower defense presale, and it was done through the website. And Commander Chaos saying they were not the first either, but it doesn't matter if first or whatever, but it was somebody, right? So if you look here, the JSON was type. The ID was SM purchase, the type tower defense pack presale, quantity 1,000 currency DEC bonus, 150 app, whatever. So these two had the same format, and they had the same key text that nobody could have known outside of the team, and it was done before the sale went live. So, so this is a problem. This is some person or persons on the Splinterlands team either leaking the info, or using it to their own advantage, and that's not cool. So, I think something here needs to be done. And, Commander Chaos was talking earlier in chat about creating some sort of token, like validation between the website and the user in order to to submit a valid transaction. I don't know the technicals behind it, but, this cannot be allowed to continue, basically. So, it didn't really matter in this case because not enough tower defense was purchased in order to sell out, but it might have mattered for the Rift Watchers. I don't know. If you guys haven't followed up, then there's an SPS there's a proposal to have a proposal that Agrid put out about there were a lot of technical glitches with the Rift Watchers launch where bonus voucher packs were not filled correctly or didn't show up at all for some people, and basically the proposal is to allow anybody who was kind of on the bubble there to get in and get their bonus packs if they want to, and if they're not happy with this whole thing, they can get refunds. Except they're not actually refunds because the money for Rift Watchers, the vouchers were burned, and then the SPS was sent to the DAO. So Splinterlands and the DAO are two different entities. So what Splinterlands is offering is to buy out people's positions, and I think this is a great solution. It's it does increase the amount of eligible packs for the promo airdrop by about 10%. A lot of those are going to go to Splinterlands, though, and they will be given out, over a long period of time. So I'm not concerned about their market impact so much. By the time those hit the market, any kind of initial pump and dump, from lack of supply will have worked itself out. So I'm very happy with the proposal, and when it is proposed, I will be voting for it, as it has been written. But maybe Commander Chaos can look through the data and see if this same kind of issue happened for Rift Watchers and see if that skewed the numbers. People that would have gotten in without problems, maybe they were bumped because of this issue. So whatever the case might be, the somebody on the team trying to automate purchases is before launches is not fair pool. Whatever the case might be. All right. So, excuse me. Still coughing. So yeah, it's it definitely needs to be addressed. And Ag says that they will look into it, and I'm sure that they will. But it is a blockchain, and anybody can submit anything to a blockchain. But there's everybody has to have a level playing field. One thing Commander Chaos was talking about doing is like, okay, you look at the first transaction and then you get all this data. It's like, well, what's the format of the thing going to be? And then from there, I can quickly punch it into a script and automate the rest of it. And that's, I think, is perfectly valid. It might be a little bit aggressive, but it's valid. So but knowing the info before the sale is the issue. Druid doesn't like it. I know Druid does not like the SPS proposal. Fight for Freedom saying, I'm missing 1 point on the RW promo situation. Any more program codes given out will not go to Splinterlands. They will only be buying the non-presale packs. It's interesting. So I don't know. I'd have to look at that. How much of that extra 10% does that get? How much of that gets wiped out then? So I'd have to look at the math there. But still, 10%. Honestly, I'm not that concerned about. Given that there were actual glitches in the system that didn't allow people to get the things that they normally should have gotten, I think is worth addressing. Yeah. So there's that. Um, so yeah, overall, I'm a fan. I like tower defense as a genre, and I will be playing it. So we'll see. One of the things we don't know is how many anythings that we need in order to play the game. Hopefully, 1150 packs is enough. I'm gonna be like I said, I'm gonna be DCAing in. I'll get some more, but we'll. How many do I need? I don't know, because we have almost no details, which probably impacts the amount of buying pressure that goes into tower defense. But I know that the team will come through. It will take longer than I want because everything does, and then I'll be happy at the end of it. So I'll just try to cast my mind forward into that future state, and I'll try to bring that happiness closer in terms of yield. So yeah, 175 left. So yeah, I mean they've continued to sell. I thought they'd be gone in like an hour, and it's been 2.5. So I'm definitely off on the 1 hour estimate, but at the rate that they're going now, I'm guessing that they will be gone by the end of tomorrow. So 1 day sellout, not terrible. And then we get Roonies on Thursday, 100 vouchers a piece to reserve your spot, and that gives you half off on the roughly $500 price. So they're basically giving you a voucher value of $250. And if you like profile picture stuff, then you're probably going to want a Rooney. There's they've hinted that there's going to be other things on ETH that are launched, and Rooney is going to be an access NFT as well. So if you've never done one of these before, basically it works like a non-extinguishable voucher. So in order to access this thing, whatever that thing might be in the future, you have to have this type of NFT in your wallet, and only then can you participate in the other thing. So if that is the case, there's going to be 6,500. Did they change that? I don't know, 6,000-ish Roonies, and that number of people will be able maximum, because some people might have multiples. Yaba was saying that he's going to get one whitelist spot, but he's going to go to town on the actual on the actual mint launch. So it's maximum 6,000 some odd people who will have these Roonies will be able to access those future things and that'll probably be limited to things launched on the Ethereum blockchain, but it doesn't have to be, because interoperability is doable. You just have a linked wallet, like you go into your Splinterlands thing and you say link external wallet, and it brings up a menu, and then you do a confirmation, and then now that's your linked wallet. So now Splinterlands can look in your Ethereum wallet. So Splinterlands on Hive can look on your Ethereum wallet on Ethereum and determine if you have one of those Roonies. So whether Roonies remain an ETH only thing, or they end up being access to things on Hive as well as sort of a VIP pass, then remains to be seen. But I think it's likely. And I think it's likely that we'll get all of our fun profile pictures. Like, I'm going to change my my Discord picture from the current profile picture, which is an old Ethereum project called Incognito, which I think looked great. The resale value went to zero. I actually looked at it earlier today, but I think it's still a great looking NFT. So I'll be updating my profile picture in game and on Discord with any Roonies that I get, and hopefully I'll get some. Like I said, I'm trying to get a bag of 10, so I can sort through, find one I like, and then probably resell the rest, and then we'll go from there. Let's see, what else do we have going on in chat here? How many cards in a TD Pack 5? We don't know. I think it's going to be 5. That's been the pattern heretofore, but don't know. Coinbase has learn and earn for everyone. Yeah, that is true. You can go earn a couple tokens of things. You watch a video, you answer a question, and you learn about this crypto thing, and you get 5 whatevers. Commander Chaos thought it was gonna insta sell. Glad he was wrong. You don't get the whole profile picture Rudy thing. It's when you do it, it's fun. Just have to trust me. It's part of an in club, all that kind of stuff. Can you get more than one whitelist place for Rooney or only one? So from what I understand, it's going to be one per transaction. So 100 vouchers. You click buy. You can then you get the one, and then you can click buy again and get another, and click buy again and then get another. That's my understanding. But we'll find out on Thursday for sure. If I get 10 Rooney, something went wrong. Maybe. maybe I'll write a script. So once I learn the JSON code to put in there, I will just script the rest of it. Because I make a fair number of vouchers a day with 80 some odd node licenses plus my staked SPS. So players will get FOMO after PFB after they see them in game. That is for sure, but that's going to be a while. So the key to all things Splinterlands is you buy early, and you just wait, and then eventually the team comes through and delivers, and then things go crazy. So that's my official methodology for Splinterlands. Breeze is asking, if I sell a kidney on the black market for $500, would that be tax deductible income? And it wouldn't be tax deductible income; it'd just be income. So the IRS doesn't care where the money comes from, as long as you declare it. Because their actual FAQs on well, if I sold drugs, do I have to report that income? They say yes, and they don't care. They don't care at all. If the source of the income is legal, illegal, whatever, they just say report it. That's for other departments. So make of that what you will. So Commander Chaos saying he might release his source. It's a pretty simple script. I know how to code it. You just need the transaction moniker for what to put into the JSON. Acro says 80 seems like a lot. It does, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Let's see what we got. 80 is not enough. Michael's still rubbing it in my face, and he's ahead of me. He won't be ahead of me forever, but for right now he is. Let's see. Commander Chaos is saying that if he had the funds, he could have sniped about 25% of tower defense in a few blocks. I mean, that's a lot. I think funds is a limiter there, obviously. So I don't think it'll be that big an impact, but it could be significant. I would not like to buy a kidney for $500. Thank you. Wheel of Death for a node. If somebody wants to donate a node to give away, I will give it away. But I'm not giving you one of mine. You have to pry them from my cold, dead fingers. Because that's my forever stuff. The the terrible thing about so many nodes selling is that the APR per node goes down. But it's set it and forget it. It is pretty passive income. And then once we have the actual code to implement, and the voting system for how you're going to allocate your SPF stake towards the various validators, then I think it's going to be pretty good. And Yaba has said it'll be fairly easy for anybody with basic technical skills to run. And so I know how to set up a droplet on Ocean, DigitalOcean, and I know how to install stuff. So I think I'll be all right. Definitely needs to be in triple digits of nodes if you want to be a true baller. That is true. Breezen said I'm stomping on her dreams of owning a Rooney. Yeah, it's gonna be competition. So part of the problem is that they're cheap. So 100 vouchers is not a lot. I mean, they're at 60 cents right now. So, $60, and then there's so many vouchers out there already that a lot of people have hundreds and hundreds of vouchers, some thousands. I mean, if we look at the rich list, vouchers. So we got these people, who have 117,000 vouchers, 31,000, 25,000. I mean, there's a lot of vouchers out there. So, getting 20,000 vouchers to buy whitelist spots is not going to be hard. So the whitelist reservation is 100 vouchers. Then what that does is when they have the actual sale, that one, it gives you a whitelist spot, and two, it cuts half the price of the Rooney. So they're giving you $2.50 of value on the 100 vouchers. So So the reservation is what's happening on Thursday, and the and the like I said, it's just not a lot. So if they were way more expensive, then obviously that would cut down demand. But with 2,000 spots, 100 vouchers apiece, that could go instantly. So we'll see how it went. I mean, today's launch went really, really smooth. So I am optimistic that Thursday's launch will go really smooth using the same kind of system. If you haven't done it already, but you go to the Rooney tab in the shop, there is this little thing, Connect ETH Wallet. You got to do that. Do that before Thursday. Do that before you need it. So you have 1 day and 19 hours to get that done. So that will link your whitelist spot with an Ethereum address or an Ethereum wallet, and just make sure that step is done so you don't have to worry about this anymore. Because they need to know where to assign the whitelist spots. So Icy Flow is saying, I think plenty of Rooney will be available at OpenSeas at a reasonable price. The coolest looking ones will be costly. That's usually how it goes. It's just it's really luck of the draw. The main reason I want several of them is to pick the one I like, because there's gonna be several different designs, and then when you mint the image, then the attributes are assigned at that point, similar to how when you open a pack, the cards are created right then. So it's if you get one, you might not like what you get. If you get 10, there'll be at least one in there that you like. So I'm hoping to up my odds that way. But that's if I'm able to get that many spots. So we'll see. Small percentage is gonna be gold. Yeah, I think it said 2%. I don't know. Let's see. Is the post linked here? Here's some. So like this one, this orange guy, I like with this halberd kind of thing. This white one, meh. The green one, no. This one's all right. It's just obviously personal taste. So they all have the same stats. They're all going to function the same in the game. It's just how they look. Well, I like this guy with the fire thing going on. This floating Mr. Wizard thing, that looks like that thing from He-Man. What was that little guy with the red hat? Anyway. So the story, no, that's the lore. So here's going to be the stats. Max circulation 6,500. There's a billion different variations with all the different combinations and stuff. Trait categories of 6, and $500 a piece. So they're going to be 6 mana, 4 attack, 1 speed, 1 armor, 5 health, and they have opportunity. They have true strike. They have the shield thing, and is that resurrection? I think so. So want one holding a pickle. Yeah. Cross-chain compatibility. So yeah, whitelist space is gonna go fast. So could you burn your hat on exchange? So no, I mean it comes as a piece. All the attributes are assigned, upon mint. So it's not like you have a crown thing and then a sword thing and then a body type. It's one thing. It gets 6 different attributes from, random selection, and self-resurrect. Yeah, that was this guy there. So, excuse me. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting competition on Thursday, and I hope I win. That's really what it comes down to. Rooney kits owned is 0. Hopefully that will have another 1 in there somewhere. So yeah, that's the story of the week. We had tower defense, and next week we're getting Roonies, and then the week after that, there's no launches, but I think there's some pools starting. We did get Prop 34 or Prop 2, depending on how you want to count things. That went into effect today with today's maintenance. So we now have SPS being restricted, our SPS battle rewards. Excuse me. Being restricted by league, so that I think it's 30% Champion League, 25% Gold, and 5% down each tier, and with so many accounts playing in lower leagues, that should reduce the per account winnings, significantly, and basically. And with fewer people able to compete in Diamond and Champion, those winnings per account should go up. And so it hasn't even been 24 hours there. So it's going to be a few days before we really see some data there. A lot of the bot farms went offline. So rentals have been terrible this season so far. It's only a few days in, but it's not been good. And and so a lot of those accounts that were competing for bronze rewards and silver rewards are gone, at least for now. So we don't know what they're doing. Are they retooling? Are they going to be combining for higher leagues? We don't know. I do know that I took my cards off the rental market that were my old cards, my alphas and betas and orbs and stuff like that, and I am putting them on Archmage for the moment. And so I started up 2 accounts over the past 2 days, and they're already into like Gold 2 in Wild. So I'm pretty pleased with the progress there. Uh, the last season, actually, still I have 2 identical accounts that are in Chaos Legion. They're Max Chaos Legion core set and they're Max Chaos Legion rewards, all cards. But no Untamed at all, no Untamed rewards. So it's just Chaos Legion and Chaos Legion rewards, and they're identical sets. And one is on Splinter Mate, and one is on Archmage. So what was interesting about last season was that they ended up in the same place. They both ended up in Diamond 2, and the Archmage though was higher for longer, and so earned more R shares. And so I think that's going to end up being the winner. The flip side of that is that Splintermate is $1 a month. Very very easy. Dashboard is great. Interface is great. You just pay ahead of time for however many credits, and then you're good to go. On Archmage, you have to buy the token, and then at some point in the near future, they're going to be charging a fee on top of that. So the token itself is $25. They sold another 500 today, I think, and the ongoing fees are up in the air, so we don't know how much that's going to be. My fear is that they're going to be too greedy and are going to, cost more than they're worth. Even with the differential in performance. So that's an open question that needs to be resolved, and I'm going to keep those 2 accounts going, head to head, and kind of see how much they do. The Archmage one started a season after the Splintermate one, but we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you guys updated about that. Archmage seems like it's going to be expensive. It does. The things I've heard are not promising as far as from the user perspective, but we'll we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Crypto Ace is saying, I wish they'd let license holders and SPS stakers of 3,000 or more get on the whitelist first. Yeah, that'd be cool. Rooney whitelist is going to be 3:30 a.m. for Deco. That's rough. Best of luck there. Let's see what else. Stratos, that was the little red guy from He-Man. Despite He-Man's legendary might, he's lacking one of those key abilities we tend to see in superheroes, the power of flight. Enter He-Man's airborne ally, Stratos. Name is kind of on the nose there. Leader of the bird people. So yeah, I read an interesting. I don't know if we have time for this, but I read an interesting thing about He-Man a couple weeks ago, that it was supposed to be like Mattel had like the merch rights to Conan the Barbarian, but then the movie ended up being like way too violent for kids stuff. So they had all these dies and had all these figures that they wanted to do something with. So they created He-Man, and I was like, oh yeah, it has the same body of what they would have used for Conan for all their toys and stuff. So. We can thank Conan the Barbarian or Conan the Destroyer. I forget which one came first. For being so too violent for kids, and that gave us He-Man. So kudos to Mattel. Splintermate. The interface is fantastic. Love it. It's just the performance is a little lacking compared to Archmage. Archmage's deck or hand picker, whatever they call it, picking lineups is superior. At least for the moment. And apparently we're down to 28,000 tower defense packs. Those will probably be gone by this time tomorrow. So I hope everybody gets all the ones that they want and are able to get their promo airdrop stuff for tower defense. And that is all the time that we have for today. So thanks everybody for coming out. We'll catch you next week.